Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 23, a podcast of Five Rings, your source of enlightenment in the realm of video games, tabletop, anime, film, and tech. Each episode of Podcast of Five Rings releases Monday mornings on iTunes and Soundcloud, now topic by topic, day by day on YouTube, with the full video releasing on Fridays. Catch updates about the podcast, or for other news, give us a follow on your social media platform of choice, listed in the description below. I'm your host, GM, and overseer of Podcast of Five Rings, Obsidian, joined tonight by the wall that will not fall, Tetsuo.
Everyone?
Hello, Tetsuo. You got
How's
the dark.
it going?
It's going. You're getting in the way of my introductions.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I was expecting a sassy clip, but that's Meta's game more so.
That is my game. That's generally what I like to do.
He's the Dark Fortune Duelist meta.
Aye.
No pirates today.
Yar.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go. And
I was gonna save you from it because I want to go back to talking about samurai stuff for my topic. So I figured.
Yeah, well,
one theme at a time.
Exactly. And the resident wildcard Mal.
Yo yo yo.
So what's been going on with everybody this week?
Oh, not too much.
Well, I mean, my topic will be pretty much on that, but beyond that, it's been kind of quiet.
What about you, Tets?
Pretty much the same. I mean, it's been a lot of still slowly getting everything together after my recent move. I know it's almost a month ago now, but
Oh my
you
god.
get amazed at how much stuff is just...
No, I'm with you because I'm looking around my room. I mean, I haven't recently moved or anything, but just I'm running out of space to put stuff. It's
it's
not
that,
good.
and then like trying to get like certain things, getting bookcases, getting just fixing things. We had to fix one of the burners on our stovetop because the stove that the house came with, one of the burners wasn't working. So so there's just stuff.
You've been caught in a sea of chores, right?
Yeah.
You need Pirate Meta to come rescue you from those shores. But he's gone. He's gone. There is no more Pirate Meta. He's dead.
Now it is only samurai, honorable samurai. That means you're gonna die, and I'm gonna nod solemnly as you do so with honor.
As he sinks into
As he
his
sinks.
sea of shores.
He died honorably.
He commits seppuku with this broomstick.
That would be really admirable.
Yeah. Hey man,
Actually, one
that's...
of our broomsticks did break, and I cut my hand on it.
What?
Man, jeez.
What's Harley disemboweling yourself? I mean...
Gotta get your battle scars in. Wall will not fall, even to a broom.
No, he will not. Or chores.
He'll fall to brooms, he's just not to the Dark Lord.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. That, like, not
Was
even
it-
okay 1 damage.
Was it like a tainted broom? It was a trying to surprise attack you?
Ninja broom.
Probably, that makes a lot of sense. Only tainted things would try surprise attacks.
Exactly. Only dishonorable brooms would try such a clearly
Dishonorable.
tactic.
Oh my god. Well, I believe this weekend we're going to be recording our next monthly modules, which is going to be Tiancha. Is that how you say it, Tets?
Tiancha. I think it's like
Tiancha.
Tiancha. I don't know.
Whatever.
Chinese is weird how
The
the way you say the accent on it can make the word totally different.
Still haven't made my character yet. You need to remind me to do that
the-
tomorrow while I'm at work.
The X is kind of pronounced like an S, and I'm gonna get stabbed by somebody who actually knows like
Or
one
like
of
a
the many
CI.
thousands, one of the many thousands of dialects for Chinese. But
Yeah,
Usually-
it is.
I would say like Tiansha
They-
is probably the best way to put it. Just
They
put
actually
like
do have
SH
a
sound.
recording of it.
Nope.
They brought in
Oh, they
a
do?
Chinese. Yeah, they brought in a native speaker, and actually, I think she was part of the development team from the beginning or something. But
Oh well.
but so she like the different provinces that the game has in it, because it does have its own world. Like she gives like the Chinese pronunciations, and for a couple of them, she's like, make sure if you do your accent this way, then it actually means this. So it was kind of an interesting thing. I'll have to see if I can dig it up and share it, and maybe we can throw it up like on Facebook or something.
I mean, that makes sense because a number, if not generally all, are very very tonal based. So depending on how you say it, will mean something.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna pronounce it the American way. Tianxia.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna use.
That's American.
I'm gonna use my kung fu on you. Oh my god.
God.
Please do so.
I'm
Please
gonna say it like that for now.
Have you guys seen?
On you.
Have you guys seen the Ninjetti video?
No.
I'm gonna link that to you later. Remind me after we get done recording. It's the redneck ninja or something like that. It's
I've never
awful.
heard of this, but this sounds amazing.
It's pretty. It's something.
It's something. Yeah.
Anyways, I guess we'll get started. And as promised, the topic I did not want to do after talking about this.
After having gone
through
I'm going to talk about.
Speaking about bad.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Deathnote, the Netflix Deathnote. If you've watched it, oh my god.
So, do you feel like you walked out with all of your soul left, or a part of you die on that journey?
If a Death Note had fallen right in front of you after the movie ended,
I would have written my own name in it in the most horrible fashion imaginable. Walks onto interstate. So this was directed by Adam Wingard, who's apparently done some stuff, and it's from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, which I'm now ashamed to share a state being born in with him. That's like an hour and a half away from me. Some big movies he's done, if you've heard of the VHS, which was kind of like a dumb schlocky horror series that was kind of big. He did the recent Blair Witch, and he's doing Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Really?
Yeah, so has some stuff to his name. This is definitely not his best work, I'll tell you that right now. If you've listened to the show, probably about a month ago when I got the release date wrong, and I was really excited to watch this because I thought it was going to be bad, but bad in a good way. And last week when I talked about Death Note, I was also excited for it being bad in a good way. It is not bad in a good way. It's bad in a bad way. This is a flat 2 out of 10. Like, oh my god, it's so bad. Okay, so we've got not Light Yagami anymore. Obviously, you probably know by now, if you know anything about the new Death Note film, that this is kind of like a based on more westernized version of it. So we have Light Turner, who's the setup's kind of the same. The Death Note like falls in front of him, and he picks it up, and he's kind of wary about it at first. It doesn't believes it's some kind of prank till he sees Ryuk come before him, who is a Shinigami or a death god in Japanese, and he basically has more agency in this movie in getting Light to use the Death Note, whereas Light kind of like is like, okay, well, this is a Shinigami. They actually exist, so this is probably like a real thing. I can use it to change the world. He almost gets like kind of frightened into using it on this guy who was bullying him and some other student. So he basically writes the kid's name in it, and the kid gets horribly decapitated. And then
that sounds almost like a 90s plot. Like he's getting bullied by another kid.
Yeah, this is the catalyst that gets Lot to start using the Death Note, essentially. is a big part of it is him being bullied, not only by the bully, but also being bullied by Ryuk into using the Death Note.
Yeah, I heard someone say this is John Hughes anime meets Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, Final Destination.
Yes, it is very Final
God.
Destination in some of the death scenes. I know we were talking about last week, Mal and Tets and I were, because you guys were saying you probably weren't going to watch it because you heard it was very gory. I will say, when it is gory, it is very gory, but that's probably literally only like 5 seconds out of the whole movie. So if people are like heard that and worried about it, I don't think it's a big deal. You get like 3 or 4 instances of it, maybe. A lot of it is kind of like drama between Lot and his father, and Lot and his girlfriend, who was Misa Misa in the anime or manga, and is renamed Mia in this. She's kind of like it's like a weird Tumblr version of like high school romance. If the kid at like a hot topic or something. I don't know how to describe it. It's so freaking bad, the romance in this. She's like, the whole reason I think she says that she wants to be with Light is because she wants things that are weird. She doesn't want it to be normal, which seems like a very like quote that you would see on someone like a 17-year-old's Tumblr page or something. I don't know if that's the impression it gave me. So it's a lot more like their romance and kind of Ryuk almost being an antagonist in the movie. Otherwise, it's kind of the same. You don't get as much like cat mouse detective like outsmarting each other kind of thing. They don't even.
The guy that played L was decent, or he's pretty good. Like maybe probably the best actor in the movie.
He was the best part of the movie. But Light's not like really like a super genius. Like
right, I heard he was probably the worst actor.
Yeah. They say he is like book smart because at the beginning of the movie it shows him like doing someone else's homework and getting paid for it. And he kind of gets caught and has to go to detention. And this is kind of like how he leads up to like meeting Ryuk and stuff like that. So, but he's not played up like this like top of his class, like the model student that, I mean, obviously model students in Japanese society, at least how we see them in their media, are usually like kind of revered and
right.
Yeah. And more in, I guess, our Western society, that's not always the case. Yeah, he, so yeah, he's like kind of smart, but it never really plays up this whole, like, he's 2 steps ahead of everyone. Like, he's, like, fooling, like, all these people and stuff like that. It's more just, really like, he has a Deathnote, so he can just kill people kind of thing.
They embrace it, yeah, as, like, dumb teenage love sort of thing.
Exactly. And L is still kind of played up that way, which is like Mal was saying earlier, and I agree with what a lot of people are saying, that L is the best part up to a certain point. Like the first half of the movie I was like, this is bad, but it's watchable because at least they're getting L right. He still has like the addiction to sugar that like keeps his like brain going, and he like sits in a chair the same way that L does in the anime and some other stuff like that. He's very smart. He has watery and stuff. Is a big plot point in the movie. And he quickly figures out who Light is and that he's Kira and stuff. But then he just like completely starts acting dumb and out of character. And like halfway through the movie, there's like a big 20-minute like chase scene that leads up to the final action thing of the movie. And like Deathnote wasn't really an action kind of like manga. It was more suspense and thriller and detective-y kind of stuff. And it like completely transitions, so tonally the movie's all messed up. It's trying to be like a weird, like kind of intellectual movie, but also a romance movie and also an action movie at the end. And L is not like an action hero. And then he completely like betrays his whole kind of like, I guess, ethical sense towards the end of the movie, and it leaves you with a really dumb cliffhanger that's like, well, they're going to make a second one. And no,
they're not.
I'd hope they don't. The acting was all bad, other than L. L was pretty good. I think he would have been able to do it really well if they'd stuck more like L from the manga and the anime. Willem Dafoe was also pretty good as Ryuk, with what they gave him. He was kind of creepy and gave off those Spider-Man 1 vibes of is a very Green Goblin-esque performance.
It was William Dafoe, though, was only the voice, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's only the voice. Mm-hmm. He was like a CGI thing. They might have done some body capture.
I think he did at least facial capture.
I'm seeing Jason Lyles is credited for Ryuk, and not like specifically.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't really do a lot.
Motion caption.
He's mostly like shadowed or off camera, where you just hear his voice. So it's weird that they even bothered to do like performance capture.
That's actually kind of interesting that they did that with like for Ryuk, because he's kind of like always in shadows, or he's always off to the side. That actually kind of count. Maybe I'm just blowing this way up in my mind, but that actually sounds kind of interesting that they would put like essentially the Death God. He's always kind of shrouded. Like you never, like technically you could potentially even argue that like is he really there, or is he just some kid finally snapping and losing it?
Yeah.
Which I think would have been a far cooler thing, but that's not Deathnote.
Yeah. He I don't know. I almost think like you kind of, if you've watched the other one, it's worth watching just to like kind of experience. And this kind of gets to the whole. I don't even really want to say zeitgeist because this has been over a big, large amount of time, but just like how bad constantly these Western adaptations of anime and manga and stuff are.
Yeah.
Because we've got the DBZ movie, we got Avatar doesn't really count because that was a Western cartoon anyways, but anime inspired.
But it also did awfully.
But yeah,
it did horrible.
What's the best, most well received one is probably Speed Racer, off the top of my head.
There is
like people like that movie.
I wish.
Transformers, technically, I guess.
Maybe.
That's
I wish
more
my
like
fiance was
Western
here because
stuff.
I know there's something that we both thought we went and saw that was not super bad, but I don't remember what it was. That tells you how much of an impression it left. But
Yeah, I feel like there was something semi-recently, but
yeah,
I mean, Ghost in the Shell didn't do good.
Nope, that didn't do well
no,
either.
It wasn't gonna.
They're going to do the Naruto movie. I heard that's going to be awful.
I have high hopes that are totally unfounded as per this discussion for the Cowboy Bebop movie if it ever actually happens.
I don't ever want them to touch it. Don't touch it. Leave it alone. It's perfect as is. Don't fucking go near it.
I don't understand. I mean, I don't really feel that way because you still have the original. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's just like, why can't they just make a good one?
Plus they have a better shot at doing it well because it is already pretty Western.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, I guess you could argue that that's true. But I mean, Ghost in the Shell isn't exactly super Eastern either. It's not like based in tons of Eastern stuff. It's just an organization.
It's like
that just happens
Cyberpunk.
to be based in Japan. Yeah, it's just Cyberpunk, and yet they still, for some reason, got that wrong. I mean, you could argue there's a lot of reasons for it, but that's not what we're here for.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, so I wouldn't know.
I never saw it. I'll eventually see it because I'm really interested in to see it, and I think I want to give it a shot for at least that one because I really like Ghost in the Shell. But my problem is just like it doesn't seem that it's so much about where it's located or what it's about. My problem is that it's just they don't care. If it's not an idea that came from Hollywood, if it's not an idea that came from somebody around that area or linked to it, it just seems to always get butchered in adaptations.
Well, I mean, I think it does come from trying to Westernize it. I mean, they're not trying to just put out crap, right? They want to make money.
Mm-hmm.
If no one goes and sees it, then they're not gonna. If they don't think anyone's gonna want to see it, then they're not gonna put it out.
Well, I mean, but to give you the example, like Deathnote here, we all knew this was going to be shitty anyway, but I bet $20 says that it will have gotten them the money that they need.
Well, here's a quote from the director, Wingard, talking about a sequel. Hopefully people will watch it, this being Netflix, the Deathnote Netflix, and Netflix will order a sequel. They definitely are ready to. They just need people to watch it. Well, people are going to watch it. I don't know if it's going to get.
This is also this is also different because it is Netflix. It's not like buying a ticket to go see.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're already paying for it regardless if you see it or not, but the only way you're going to get sequels is somebody goes and watches it. So don't watch it.
No, go watch it. Watch it. Give us a sequel. I need to experience this again. Maybe they could get someone else and do it better. I don't think so. It's probably irredeemable.
I mean, I have seen people say they liked it, but usually it's people who didn't like the original or haven't seen the original.
Yeah.
It's to be fair, the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes shows a 44%. That's not.
It's not awful. Well,
that's
is that
not
user
awful.
or critic? Is that user or critic?
It just says tomato meter. I haven't actually clicked on it. It's just critics.
Yeah.
25% audience score. It was a 25% audience score, but
plus also this one's gonna have the difficulty of telling because people are gonna say it's crap based on it not being the same as the original. So it's hard to find a true gauge of certain things.
Well, I think it more just could have been okay if they had just done some different stuff tonally and made it a little bit more consistent. It would have been like it's all right. That's fine. And it kind of was that way a little bit until the second half of the movie. But,
I think.
Go ahead, Meta.
I was gonna just say it's cool that they do the adaptations. It's cool that they want to bring it over here and do stuff with it. But
I don't fault them for trying.
Yeah, but like the only thing I want to state, like really about it, and I think this is kind of like what any director, when you take a medium of a different art and try to adapt it, is that why are you adapting this into this type of format? What are you going to do that's going to change it? Like, what are you keeping the same? What are you changing it? And why do you need to change it? Because you've got different mediums of different ways of showing movies and films and through books and whatnot that have all their own ways of displaying or telling a story. But when you adapt something like, from an anime to a full-blown live-action movie, there are certain things that you can do in a live-action movie that may not be totally doable in the same way that you can in an anime. Like, for instance, the motion of cameras and whatnot. It's not always the same. And there's some cool things you can do that there can't. I mean, they're very similar mediums, so you can generally get away with both in prior, but what are you doing? What are you going to try to do that makes it different, but still stick to the work of the art? Because if you look at, like, Batman and the Killing Joke, if you read the comic, it's a wonderful story, by the way. It's probably one of the best Batman stories I've ever seen in my life. If you watch the movie and you don't count the first half of it with
you're talking about the recent animated one, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the recent animated one. If you don't count the first half with Batgirl in it, okay, and you just actually watch the second half of that, that is literally
it's the comic.
It's literally the comic. There's almost nothing changed in that. I think there's only like a dance part for it for the Joker at one point, but even then, that's like the only real big difference. Everything else is from the comics verbatim. The scenes, the character positions, the motions. I mean, the freaking animated adaptation is so stuck to the comic that even the animation almost looks like it was just a moving comic, which is cool that you get to see an animated version of it. But at the same time, like, there are some things you could have potentially changed on there. You could go see that. You could go watch that animated version, and you've read the comic. That'd be it. So when they bring it over, I mean, you don't have to, but if you bring it over to Medium, you should have a better reason than I just want to make an adaptation of it. What are you going to do with that adaptation? Why are you bringing it over beyond I just want to make a movie version of it?
And it loses the heart of what makes Deathnote so interesting. Like, you can tell, like, they've read it or watched Deathnote and generally understand it, but I don't think at least the writers or director, whoever was in charge of the way it all panned out, really had an understanding of what made Deathnote so interesting and great. And for a lot of people, that is the kind of cat and mouse game between Lot and L, and you don't really get that at all in this movie.
I think, hands down, I think if they had, beyond, barring the acting, which you can't do anything about, beyond trusting the actors to go down a performance, and then the actors have to trust their director, that the director is going to say, like, no, that's crap, you need to do better, or that's good. Because, the actors are giving their all, but they don't know. They need an outside person to tell them. So it's kind of that relationship between them. But, barring increasing acting and whatnot, you're absolutely right. Like, it would have been probably better to keep that cat and mouse, because there is fun in watching these two bright, intelligent individuals playing games against one another, trying to always one-up each other, trying to capture the opponent, and then suddenly having the tables turned, and now they have to retreat while the opponent captures them. That's, when it's done right, very intense.
Yeah. And it's also just bad because I didn't get he eats a potato chip scene. So, that's obviously 2 out of 10 right there.
No Keikaku.
No Keikaku as well, yeah.
No Keikaku, no potato chips, no, like, tennis game, no awkward homosexual feet rubbing. Not there's anything wrong with that. But
no awkward.
You don't remember that? Before?
I've never watched Deathnote. I did not care for it at all.
Okay. Right before their kind of like final confrontation, there's a scene where like Lot washes Elle's feet, and it's weirdly erotic.
Wow.
So
this is an experience.
They may have been going for the Christian angle because Japanese people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of people
do. They really like that.
And it's shonen. You get your fan service stuff in there too.
Gotta get that in there for the ladies.
That's all I got.
And the men.
It's 2 out of 10. Watch it if you dare. Maybe if you watch it, we'll get another bad sequel. Which say I don't want it, but I would probably end up watching it. So because I like Deathnote, the original, a lot. So
God.